Welcome to another post from the Historical Videos channel. Seneca was a Roman leader and historical thinker who realized that to live well, we must be constant learners of the greatest of all things, life itself. In his ethical essay on the brevity of life, Seneca offers us an urgent reminder about the irretrievability of our most valuable resource, our time. Keeping this in mind, here are 10 fundamental principles about time management drawn from Seneca's works. First, value time as a precious commodity. Many take care of their personal possessions, but when it comes to spending time, they are excessively extravagant. We should manage time in moderation, considering it possibly our most valuable and least renewable resource. Just as we would consider someone rich throwing money into the wind on the street as foolish, we often find ourselves and others wasting something much more valuable, our time. The amount of time we have is uncertain, but it is certainly limited. Wasting time is more irrational than wasting money because we cannot get more time whenever we want. Second, do not devote all your time to the future. Live in the present, without postponing our happiness thinking it is in the future. The future is uncertain and beyond our control. The future life we work for may never materialize. We are so busy and concerned about the future that we often miss or waste the present. Only when we grow old and are on the verge of death do we realize how short and valuable life is, and we regret not having enjoyed it to the fullest while we could. Third, live life for yourself. Do not consider someone who has lived long just because they have white hair and wrinkles. We all have specific goals in our lives, whether it's a dream job, a dream home, or a dream relationship. However, we often do not come close to achieving these things because we are stuck in a job we hate or in a relationship we pretend to love. The best way to invest time is to create a life we love living. Ask yourself what you would do if you had more time and what you would change now, both in your surroundings and in yourself. Fourth, practice anticipation of problems. Seneca teaches us to combat procrastination and immediate impulses through anticipation of problems. Before doing something, ask yourself what could go wrong. This is a form of negative visualization that helps identify distractions or potential problems. By planning solutions in advance, you can avoid being overwhelmed by immediate impulses. Scheduling and committing to what you want to do make it more likely that you will achieve your goals. Fifth, make long-term gratifications immediate. According to Seneca, delaying things is the greatest waste of life, as it robs each passing day and denies us the present, promising the future. The biggest obstacle to living is expectation. Our need to procrastinate is strongest at the beginning of work. Even if you have eliminated all distractions and are ready to start working, the attraction to find an excuse to do something easier is still very strong. The biggest challenge is to make this initial effort less unpleasant. The key here is expectation. When we want to postpone something we know will benefit us, that's the difference between immediate impulses and long-term gratifications. The reason it is often difficult to start something is that there is no expectation of an immediate reward. Sometimes the reward is years in the future. However, if you combine your work with the expectation of an immediate reward, you have a reason to start. For example, if you are putting off watching YouTube videos, you can make a deal with yourself that you will not watch YouTube until you have completed a certain amount of work. That way, you reward yourself by completing unpleasant work with something immediate. Sixth, make the most of your free time. As Seneca says, it's not that we have little time in life, but rather that we waste a lot. Life is long enough and we have been given a generous amount to achieve great things. As long as it is invested correctly. We work hard to earn two things, money and free time for leisure activities. However, we often waste this free time on irrelevant things. We must make the most of it by meditating, reading, exercising, or writing in a journal, anything that can add value to our lives. If we want to overcome mediocrity and start living for real, we must make the most of our free time. Seventh, dedicate time to reflect on your past. Seneca informs us that life is too short and full of anxiety for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. Time is divided into three parts: the present, which is transient, the future, which is uncertain, and the past, which is unchangeable. While much modern advice on time management tells us to focus on the present and look to the future, Seneca tells us to pay attention to our past. Reflecting on the past and introspection benefits the soul, helps us to be present, and understand the changes that have occurred within us. It also gives us a clear view of who we are and who we want to be. Reflecting on the past allows us to take responsibility and control of our actions. 8. Stop wasting. As we learn from Seneca, if people want to know how short their life is, they should reflect on how small the portion given to them is. We are all guilty of spending too much time on trivial things. More and more time in our days is spent on screens, browsing status updates, and dedicating time to purposeless things. We must commit to living for ourselves, investing in valuable and meaningful activities for our personal vision of life, and cultivating meaningful relationships with family and friends. 9th, invest your time in creating new memories. If you give money to a wealthy man, he will try to double it by investing it where he gets the maximum return. Similarly, we should all invest our time wisely. The best returns we can get from our time are investing in creating new memories and in philosophy. Spending too much time pursuing things that shorten our life even further, such as luxuries and leisure, only to later regret not having truly lived when we grow old. One of the enemies of happiness is adaptation. Memories of life experiences provide a more lasting happiness than material things. 10th, seek balance. Balance is a principle in Seneca's philosophy, which believed in the importance of a balanced and harmonious life. We must invest our time wisely and get the best possible returns by investing in taking care of ourselves, nurturing relationships with family and friends, pursuing personal interests, and enjoying moments of rest and relaxation. Seeking balance allows us to enjoy a full and meaningful life, avoid wasting time, and find harmony in all areas of our lives. In a frenetic world full of distractions, historical wisdom emerges as a guiding beacon, illuminating the importance of not wasting our precious time. Inspired by figures like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, historical philosophers invite us to adopt a perspective that values careful management of our time and attention, directing us toward a more meaningful and productive life. Historical insight on time reminds us that it is a limited currency, once spent, never recovered. Faced with this reality, the Stoics argue that each moment deserves our consideration and conscious choices, rather than passively surrendering to daily distractions. We are encouraged to cultivate clarity of purpose. This teaching aligns with the modern practice of mindfulness, which seeks to bring focus and presence to every activity. Historical philosophy also warns us of the futility of worrying about what is beyond our control. Concerns about the future or regrets from the past often lead us to waste valuable time in the present. The historical acceptance of the present moment teaches us to focus our efforts only on what we can directly influence, freeing us from the cycle of anxiety and allowing us to seize the opportunities within our reach. By adopting a historical perspective, we are encouraged to distinguish between what is essential and what is superficial. The constant pursuit of ephemeral pleasures, social status, or material goods can lead us to an empty and endless pursuit. Instead, the historical figures urge us to seek virtue and high mastery. By investing our time in building a solid character and pursuing moral excellence, we find a deeper and more lasting sense of purpose in our journey. Historical philosophy also encourages us to face adversity with resilience and calm. Instead of being overwhelmed by inevitable setbacks, we are challenged to see these experiences as opportunities for growth. Accepting difficulties as an integral part of life drives us not to waste time with unproductive lamentations, but to turn challenges into constructive lessons. Furthermore, the historical perspective encourages us to cultivate healthy and meaningful relationships. We recognize that time spent with people who enrich us emotionally is an invaluable investment. At the same time, we are advised not to engage in futile conflicts or toxic relationships that only drain our energy and divert us from our goals. In summary, the importance of not wasting time through the historical perspective lies in understanding that each moment is a precious gift that cannot be reclaimed. This philosophy teaches us to direct our attention to what truly matters, embrace the present with acceptance and action, build virtuous character, and nurture meaningful relationships. By adopting these principles, we empower ourselves to live a full and meaningful life aligned with our deepest values. Therefore, recognize that time is the most valuable resource you possess. Instead of letting it slip through your fingers, use it wisely. Be selective in your activities, dedicating yourself to learning, personal growth, and contributing to the common good. With each choice, ask yourself, does this bring me closer to my deepest goals and values? Be the master of your time, not its slave, and live a meaningful and fulfilled life. We thank you for following until the end of the video. If you are new here, consider subscribing to join us on the path of wisdom. We will do our best to provide content that adds value to your life. We hope to see you again here on the Historical Videos channel. Until next time.